Good morning. This is field trip day, so we're really excited. I always love this trip, so happy to have you along with us. We are starting out here today at the rail yard. There's two reasons for that. One is, who would not want to start their day out at their own terminal railroad? The other one is we got to go down and check the water level route, see if the work we did the other day was draining. Speaking of this being a terminal railway, if a guy goes into a grocery store for three things and does not have a list, how many will he come out with? Two. He won't get all three without the list. And if I don't have a list, when I go to talk to you guys, there's just little things I leave out. So what I left out the other day, that I'm going to get in right now while I can, is that this is a terminal railway, which means it's the end of the line. There will never be through traffic here. There will never be what's called bridge traffic, meaning from this railroad, from another railroad over our road onto another road, bridge traffic. This is a terminal railway, which means it's the end of the line. Now in the traffic world, they might call this the last mile, meaning you better have good service and you better have options. You're the last mile of this massive rail system in the US. And I think last mile also sometimes describes from rail to truck, which we're looking into. Is there a plant near here that would love the advantages of rail, but the last mile includes some truck? Possibly. So this was in service maybe 25 years ago. I think the last switching done down in here was by Conrail. So Conrail, of course, was a consolidation of all the Northeast railroads that were in deep trouble. Conrail took them over. I think Conrail operated down in here. Wouldn't you love to see an old blue SW 1200 down in here switching? I know I would. Speaking of videos, I would love to see that video. Speaking of videos, I wanted to plug two guys who I really enjoy that do railroad videos. Most of you probably know of these guys, but if you like rail and videos, their quality is amazing. Their voice, I can listen to their voice talking about rail. I do, quite a bit. Guy out of Florida named, I think his name is Daryl, but his channel is Distant Signal Rail. He does a lot of CSX in Florida. Delay in Block. I think he's from Michigan. He does amazing videos. These guys use drone. They use a little bit of music. They got a lot of history. They label everything. Every crossing they're shooting from is labeled, or they tell you exactly where they're at. They do an amazing job. Also, sometimes the holidays, people talk about how emotionally it's stressful. Presents. I don't like shopping. That is stressful for me. And also, I don't know of anything I want. So it's stressful for me to tell people, no, I don't really want anything. I don't know of anything I want. Anyway, here's my holiday advice. So the other night, I went to YouTube Deschler. It was snowing. There's snow falling by this old train station. The interlocking tower that's there, we were afraid they were going to tear it down because watching it over the live cam, they had an excavator there, and I went, oh no, they're going to tear it down. But they didn't. They put new windows in it. Anyway, I'm watching YouTube Deschler. The snow's falling. On another channel, I had smooth jazz, and I just leaned back. It was so peaceful. So that's my recommendation to handle the holiday tension, is watch YouTube Deschler and listen to smooth jazz. We are going to go up and look at the water level route. Glad to see you got all your permission slips in to go on the field trip today. There are a couple forgeries of parents' names. That concerns me, but we're just going to call that creativity and let it go. Now that you're all on the bus, we're going to have a vote about where we're stopping. We're going to stop at White Castle or Waffle House. Don't bring up any other options. Those are the only two. I'm going to ask you all to raise your hands and vote where we're going to stop. If you're from Georgia, glad to have you as followers. Glad you enjoyed the videos. But no, you can't vote twice. Just once. Okay. Everybody, and I'm going to count. Everybody for Waffle House and White Castle. Vote for White Castle. Okay, White Castle it is. We're going to go up and look at the water level route. Stop at White Castle. We're going to near Springfield, Ohio, to the Richie Brothers auction, and we'll get you involved when we get there. We are on our way to Springfield. on our field trip, and we stopped at White Castle. If you've never had a White Castle breakfast sandwich, you're missing something. It comes with these little round potatoes, and this is a tasty combination. This is not a paid endorsement. I just happen to really like them.
Yes, I'm eating a slider for breakfast because they're delicious, and why would you not?
Yeah.
All right, we're at RB, Richie Brothers, and we were just talking about how much equipment we've bought here and the good deals that we've gotten.
You can see the row of side booms. We did buy a side boom here and then resold it here. Bought it and sold it at the same place. We bought the truck we're driving in. We bought the grapple that we had talked about earlier. Look at all those white trucks. Could be personal, could be a work truck. Cranes. They generally have a lot of tractor trailers. 500 tractors maybe. And we bought tractors here before too. I'm gonna go in and pay for what we bought, and we'll head around back. Ooh, I'm in neutral. Doesn't go in neutral, no matter how many RPM you have. So I'm gonna go in and pay and use the men's room because I'm an old guy. And then point out that way. Look at all that stuff. These auctions are a blast. Now they've changed quite a bit with the COVID. They used to be live. It was fun. People watching and all kind of bidding antics going on and wondering who you're bidding against. Now it's all online. It's much less fun. But the world has changed and we're trying to change with it. I'm gonna go pay up, see you in a little bit. So we are at Richie Brothers. We just loaded at the building down there. It was kind of hectic, so we didn't film there. We want to show you the two things that we bought. Here is the one which I was really excited about. This link, I envision, I'm quite sure, is a scale. So we have a large railroad crane, and this you could suspend from the hook with a clevis, this end with a clevis, so the dog bone's hanging like this, and then anything you pick up should read the weight out on here. Now, when we put a railroad car back on the tracks, we're not too worried about what it weighs. We know approximately what it weighs. But I would like to use this to test slings and chains. If it's supposed to be rated at 20,000 pounds, with our crane, we could pull 20,000 pound test load on the chain and then stamp it that it's tested. This was 70 bucks. Does it work? I don't know. Was it a good idea? I don't know yet. I know what I'd like to use it for, but I don't know yet. The other item we bought is in this orange box. We already strapped it down. I'm gonna pop the straps loose. Graham's gonna climb up on there and we're gonna show you what's in that box. Show them the dead row. These are examples of trucks.
So what this row is trucks that won't start are this white one right here next to the two red ones. I crawled in there the other day during the auction. It's missing the whole top end of the engine and a whole bunch of parts, but if it gets here and it won't start, or if there's something wrong with it, like that army truck has no engine, it comes here.
Woo! Okay. Look at this antique. Do you know what it is? It's a rail saw. So this arch right here clamps this, the rail goes up in this, and then this reciprocating arm with a blade on it. Here, I'll get oriented the right way. The rails come through here. This blade goes like this and saws the rail. This is an antique. Who knows how many pieces of rail it's cut, but I bet it'll cut some more. The engine, sounds like it would be willing to start. So this thing was probably, I don't know when it was built, but this is heavy and it's made in America for Americans. I'll bet we can use this. Hey, this making videos is tiring. It's break time. Got the old Stanley thermos. Okay, so this item, can you tell what this is? This is a modern day tie handler. They used to be made by Kershaw, and they had the big square cab and the funky tie handler. This is a John Deere excavator mounted on this custom rail wheels. So there are rail wheels underneath there. We ran them. Graham started this up. We rotated it all around. It does not have the attachment to grab onto a tie. It'll grab a tie, rotate, release. I mean, you can insert ties with it. You can gather up ties with it. So I told Graham, I said, we could use that. Go to a maximum of $12,500. So we communicated pretty clearly on that. So I left, but I was watching it on my phone on the way back, and they started the bidding. And I don't know, they do crazy stuff like start at 25,000, drops to 20, drops to 15, drops to 12. And I'm saying to myself, Graham, don't do it yet. Drops to 5,000. So he's in at 5,000, but then it starts climbing by $2,000 and $3,000 increments, shot way past our 12,500, and ended up selling for 57,000. So that tells you a couple things: the value of equipment like this, and that we're bargain hunters. I'd have bought it at 12,500 all day long because it's worth 57, and we probably would have used it first and then sold it. But interesting piece of equipment. Yes, there are rail wheels underneath there, and Graham found the travel mode and the wheels spun. I don't know who bought it and where it's going, but very nice piece of equipment. Real high hour, but maybe it was sitting idling quite a bit. While we're here, Graham wants to tell you the story of his buy in this auction.
Yeah, so because the auction is online and it's like any other auction, how your adrenaline's pumping, you're waiting to go and stuff, and we're watching the pickup trucks come by, and I'm looking at them, and they're selling for a good deal. Well, there's this one that went to, there's this one that went down to $2,000, and I'm looking at it going, yeah, that's a good deal, and it drops to 15. So I move my finger towards it, not meaning to touch the screen, and by the time I overshoot my finger of where it's gonna land, it jumped to 3,500, but that was the last bid on it. So I accidentally bought a pickup truck for $3,500 in Chicago. So we get to take a trip to Chicago to get it.
Oh, that's too funny. And you know what? I wasn't mad at him, because sometimes things that you don't plan turn out to be fine. Mm-hmm. If it was here, we'd be driving it home today, but it's in Chicago. So I don't know. Maybe we'll take you on that road trip too. You know, this is all fun for us, and we roll with the punches and enjoy the victories. So we're going to give you a real quick driving tour as we leave here, and then this will be the end of the field trip. Thanks for joining us, and meet you back on the railroad to start work tomorrow morning. These are the red ones are R.J. Corman surplus. Usually when they come here, they take the high rail gear off. The grapple we bought was not Corman, by the way, but it still had everything with it, just the wheels were off. Go ahead and pull forward. So we didn't even bid on these.
One of these does have high rail still on it.
These are nice because they're triaxle. Now this right here, this tractor with the grapple on it, that went for $6,000. Had I known, I think we would have bought that. Go on around to the front of it or to the side of it.
This first one here still has the high rail on it.
All the way around? Yes, it does. They normally take it all the way off.
Well, the other one it's taken off, and off the other one they took the generator for the magnet off. And
I don't believe that tractor went for $6,000. There's no way. We got our numbers off or something. That's way too nice, way too new.
367.
Maybe it was 60, and you've never made a mistake at an auction, so I don't know why I'm questioning you.
Neither have you, Mr. Perfect.
Okay, so that's the end of the Richie Brothers tour. Out.